Well, I'm really delighted that we met and were able to engage Narita Learning Center to help us craft, our strategy for the organization in terms of how we could deploy the coaching solution in MTN Nigeria. And we engaged them extensively in terms of the requirements, what it is we were trying to achieve. And they took some of us through some training, some coaching training, and I was fortunate and privileged to be in one of the classes. And the outcome of those sessions is that, first of all, it created a consciousness in the minds of all of us who were taken through the process over a 2-day program about the importance of coaching and how coaching can complement all the other people management practices that we deploy in MTN. So I found it a very useful process working with Narita, working with both Dudu and Ade Martins. They have helped us to develop internal coaches inside the organization. I guess for us the next step would be for us to embark on more serious, extensive training, devote the time and the resources to doing that so that we can become certified and ensure that we're in a position to also train other people in the organization for us to get the kind of scale and the impact that we desire.
When I stumbled on the Narita Learning Center, Dudu and Ade, I was quite eager to try it out, with that at the back of my mind, knowing that this was something that was beneficial to this individual, and I figured it could be just as useful to me. Why did I need a coach? I was doing a lot at the same time. I was having difficulty managing and balancing the pressures of work, multiple engagements and multiple commitments at the same time with my family. I wanted to be the best father I could be, the best husband I could be, the best boss that I could be, the best investor I could be, and so on. And this was a way to optimize all of that. And in some ways, it was a way to get some quiet time away from the madness and the pressure of living and working in this insane city. One of the things that I took out of the coaching sessions I had, I know there's so many things that I can pick up from my coach, was the whole idea of thinking things through to the point where you're actually considering the consequences after the action's been done. Usually, one analyzes you look at a decision tree and you look at the way things can go and you get to the end. And one of the things that I've learned is when you get to the end, think about what happens afterwards as well. So that's kind of useful to me. Yeah.
So interesting, I had the personal experience, and then 2 years later at a job when I was having another challenge, I remembered, Narita. And so I came in and had a different session, and this, same principles, different challenge, but still sort of equipping you with the toolkit to, again, unpack the problem, understand where it's stemming from, and go to the root cause, if you like, and start to understand how you're more powerful than whatever you think those obstacles are. You really are in control of whatever situation you find yourself. How to sit in a meeting and pick up the right signals, those unspoken signals. I can't remember the number, but something like 10% of communication is actual verbal. So learning those sorts of things, and then also going a step further. So in future, when I see this sort of a situation present itself, or a variation of this situation, how do I approach it? How do I understand it? How do I take the learning from my coaching sessions into it? And it's something that has helped already, how to empower my team, how to make sure that, when you are talking to someone in your team, there's a saying that the team in Narita, the meaning of your communication is the understanding from the other person. It's not what you say, it's what the other person understands. So how do you make sure that what you are intending to say and what the person's hearing are aligned, right? So, and this is something anyone can just, that skill is something that will help in every facet, be it personal life or work experience. So I've had two separate instances, sort of personal and professional, and in both situations I've walked away with, you know, two boxes that I can now use, you know, in future.
I'd set to go for NLP and coaching because since I read the book Awakening the Giant Within You by Anthony Robbins, I started searching for NLP until I met Narita.LC, and I was shocked. But the first lesson we had on persuasion and influencing has changed everything about my business strategies, my approach to animals as a vet. It's a wonderful tool for any purposeful leadership in any form of management, in any form of leadership structure. NLP is most veritable tool that can keep you moving, keep you influencing, keep you persuading, keep you successful and everything you're doing. You can never regret it. You would like to be with them. They are very amiable, they are very informing, they are very current. You can't but like to be in Narita. It's true. That's my experience. I keep asking, you can verify, I keep asking, do you have something for me? I still want to learn from them because it's useful for my life generally, business and personal life, aging, everything, name it. It's a veritable tool.
I'll put it in 2 words. It's helped me to understand contentment. Very easily misunderstood word. Some people think it's a compromise. Some people think it's a lack of ambition, but it's completely different from that. The second thing it's helped me to understand is it's helped me to understand how to stop procrastination. Very also linked with contentment. Those are the 2 areas of my life that it has helped me to deal with, and the effect of dealing with it has been extremely positive. This is beyond time and money. It's helped me to gain an insight into my life and how I want to live the rest of my life. Time we have no control over. We don't know how much of it we have left or how much of it we have used up. So I can't even begin to quantify it in terms of time. In terms of money, there's an opportunity cost for everything. But the most important thing, there's an opportunity cost. So opportunity comes first and there's a cost. With an insight, you can reduce the probability of a negative aspect of that opportunity and therefore control the cost. So what I'm talking about is beyond time and money. Cut a long story short, it's been invaluable in redirecting my life such that time and money become friends and not things that create anxiety.
It is in having my communication, my coaching session, that I realize actually maybe I'm more fulfilled in some areas of my life than I am in other areas. And the constant struggle that still exists in me is because I'm looking for balance. And to find that balance, what is balance for me? Defining what balance is for me, for example, you know, spiritually, in terms of my values, in terms of my the way I want to work-life integration, in terms of my relationship with my husband, my relationship with my children, my relationship with the people that work with me. I used to say, it's not my business to motivate you. That's what I used to say to my staff. But actually, as a leader, it is my business to motivate them. You know, so correcting preconceived ideas and notions that don't support the kind of goals that you want to achieve. That for me was important, that I discovered those things about myself, and I realized that I can change habits that are not adding value to my person. I can create and become habits that support my goals, my dreams, and the kind of person I wish to be, which was the foundation of why I even went to a coach in the first place. Whatever you define success, and I'm using success very broadly, whatever you define success as really doesn't matter to me. It's what you feel it is. But there are less bodies lying on the way now. There's more people at the end of the objective, you know, and clapping and cheering. And if I didn't go to coaching, I'm not sure. I probably might have gotten to it a little too late.
I had gone for a program done by Narita, and it was a women's program. And, you know, I had been sent the flyer or whatever, and it just seemed, it seemed interesting. I had heard about coaching, about different skills I could get, but I always thought it was a bit of mumbo jumbo. I wasn't quite sure it was the right thing to do, but I went for this program. And I guess it opened my eyes to the different techniques. So we talked about NLP, we talked about tapping, we talked about visualization, different techniques that we did. And I think it was a 2-day or a 1-day program, but in that 1 day, it just opened my eyes to the possibilities. And I felt so good after the program, I decided to start one-on-one coaching. I think it has to be a continuous thing. I think at different points in your life, but once you understand the tools, you can keep using them. But for me, I constantly need top-ups, you know, and it's also quite nice to have somebody independent to talk to, and just to be reminded about you know, different things that you can do. I think it has to be something that's continuous, like continuous professional training or assessments or something. So it's something you have to keep doing.
I was in the process of rebranding my company from one to another, and we wanted to take on a different business philosophy. And I'd only been in Nigeria for a short space of time, so I had slight challenges understanding the business culture and environment in Nigeria. And I'd bumped into Mrs. Peterside at an event in Abuja where she told me what she did. And incidentally, I'd been taking coaching classes in South Africa, where I'd lived before I moved to Nigeria. So I understood the principles and the idea behind business coaching. So I signed up for it, and it's been a success ever since.
It was quite insightful. There are two sets of issues most of the time, especially when it comes to behavioral modification and trying to get the best of you. One is the recognition, and you can be so good at recognizing it, you don't necessarily know how to change it or how to actually modify the behavior to the desire that you want. I think what it did for me was not as much on the recognition side, but at least how to now deal with it, you know, and that was what I struggled with. I'm very self-aware, but I wasn't quite sure how do I manage to change those things that I need to change in order for me to be more effective as an individual, be more effective in a workplace, and to be a better me. So I found it really, really useful. Self-awareness and learning those things that you need to learn in dealing with people, I found really useful.
I decided to get a coach because I realized that there were techniques, strategies available for people in their professional lives and also personal lives and corporate lives, which could really enable them to maximize the resources available to them to excel. And the route I came through was through training with Narita, which I found was excellent, using the NLP techniques, Neuro-linguistic programming. The whole idea of that being that you can achieve very high proficiency and even excellence by modeling excellence and deconstructing what it is that people who achieve excellent standards do and then reproducing it. And that's fundamentally the way human beings learn. Even though all the resources are either within us or available to us, we need coaching to help us to bring out, our capacity at its highest level. And this is where I found that Narita has really excelled. I mean, they're professionals and they've been able to permit me to achieve, quite extraordinary results applying these techniques very skillfully, yes.